I've been wanting to make this video for quite a long time, and it is literally because I am over it. What am I over? I am over optimizing my life. You see, I spent years inside this world of health optimization. When I was in my 40s, I left my stable job and went back and trained in functional medicine and started my own practice. Optimizing and over optimizing was literally my job. My job was to help people who had a lot of chronic illness get to the bottom of their problems, their root causes of their illness. We did a lot of in-depth testing. My team would look into their genetics and their gut health and their hormones and their nutrition, and then start them on protocols and have them change their diets and track things. Well, that's amazing, right? That's personalized medicine. And it is to a point. But the problem is that all of that now has come sort of out of the clinic and into all of our lives. And basically what it makes us think is that we have to constantly be trying to optimize our health, even when we're likely pretty healthy. It conveys this message that we're all broken. The other thing that I think is a little problematic with this whole over optimization trend that we're seeing is that a lot of it comes out of this sort of bro wellness movement or culture. And especially for women in midlife, it might just not be aligned, and in some cases can actually be unhealthy. Most of the men who are sort of interested in all of this, they are younger, in their 20s, 30s, maybe 40s. They're biohackers, tech entrepreneurs, maybe. They're into extreme sports. But the reality is that women in midlife and younger men like this, they have completely different physiology. And it's a different time of life. There's different things going on in their life, and probably most likely different goals. And so why are we necessarily sort of looking to this, this group of people for advice? And I would say, as a physician and sort of being in the middle of all this for so many years, I've seen some real problems. So first of all, let's talk about fasting. Like, fasting is really big and, really popular and trendy. And a lot of people, are going on water fasts and 24-hour fasts. And for some, it might be a good thing to do, especially if they're dealing with some health issues. But for many of us, like a 12 to 14-hour fast overnight is enough. You don't need more than that, unless it's for some, specific reason. And many women are already dealing with low energy. They're maybe trying low carb diets, and, fasting can sometimes cause problems with hormones. It can cause issues with sleeping well. And so it's not always the best thing for everybody. The other thing would be specific diets like ketogenic diets. And this has been shown that women in midlife who naturally, with their loss of estrogen, have an increase in like their cholesterol and lipids, oftentimes ketogenic diets make this a lot worse. And again, without the carbohydrates, they just don't feel well. And lastly, things like cold plunges. Some people love to do cold plunges, but women actually experience a different effect sometimes when they go into cold water like that. Instead of having, the dopamine increase that everyone wants, they actually might have an increase in their cortisol, their stress hormone, which is not what we want. And so you sort of have to look at these sex differences too. And so all these things are not bad always, but are they good for you? So these are the types of things that I would say when you are, maybe thinking about trying to, use different things such as tracking devices for your blood glucose, or tracking devices for your sleep, or maybe you want to try a certain supplement protocol or a cleanse, or, any of the things that I've talked about. You have to sort of balance, is this helping me or is this hurting me? Is this making me more anxious and obsessed about my health or my schedule? Is it, causing problems, for example, with my relationships? I have seen this when people are trying to be so strict with say, like their 12-step morning routine or these habits that we sometimes buy into without even thinking about whether they're good for us or right for us, it's really important to see how you feel when you're maybe trying some of these things that you think are going to optimize your health. Like, why are you actually doing it? Are you doing this to actually feel better? Are you doing it based on something you read in an ad? Are you doing it because you were told that it's going to increase your longevity? These are just things to really think about and ask about when you are thinking about taking up a new behavior or trying a new gadget. Because when it comes to real longevity and satisfaction in life and happiness as we get older, none of the research has pointed to any of this. Now, most people are trying a lot of these optimization trends because they want to live longer or they want to feel better. Maybe sometimes people want to lose weight. But let's look at longevity, right? When we really look at the areas of the world that people live the longest, but also people who are happy and well to the end of their life, we call that health span, they're not doing any of this stuff. I mean, if you go to Okinawa or Sardinia, there are other things that they're doing, but they are not necessarily pulling out keto meters or putting glucose monitors on their arms if they're not diabetic. They're not taking reams of vitamins, but they are doing certain things, the very foundational things in health. They're moving their body every day. They're walking, they're dancing, they're doing chores, they're gardening, things like that, which we know is absolutely crucial for our health. Many of us sit all day and then exercise. If we bring that movement into our life, it's actually better for us. They're also not eating overly processed food or fast food. They are eating more whole food, more regional food. But some of the biggest things you don't see anywhere in optimization culture. So for example, the number one reason why people have good longevity, if you go back and look at the studies, is they have and maintain healthy relationships throughout their lifetime. That means that they have friends that they cherish, family members, or just community. That is so important. I don't see a biohack for that. The other things would be things like having some purpose. It doesn't have to be a big purpose, but getting up every day and deciding that, hey, you're here for a purpose. You're going to make the best out of your day. Not a lot of biohacks for that. And other things like having some sort of spiritual connection. Again, very important for longevity and health and happiness as we get older. And what I've seen also in my years of working with people is that a lot of these foundational things are sort of ignored for the more sexy things. We want to find out what our genetics show, and there's nothing wrong with this, but we want to get all the tests done. We want to buy all the gadgets. We want to track and do the metrics on everything. But then maybe we are ignoring our relationships. Maybe we're scrolling our phones and we're looking at screens all night. Maybe we're not managing our stress at all. We don't take time out for ourselves. We don't play. We don't laugh. We don't have creative outlets. All of these things have been shown not only to improve longevity, but also make us just happier, make life worth living. So those foundational things are so, so, so important. Now, I don't want to say that I'm anti-optimization at all. I mean, I spent an entire career, looking into this and practicing it and trying a lot of things myself. But I made this video because I want people to understand that it's really important to sort of think of your why. Why would you want to, for example, track your sleep? Why would you want to buy a cold plunge pool and jump in it every morning? Be curious about it. It's fine to try things out, but after a while, start thinking do I feel better? Is this helping me? Is it worth it? Is it making me more anxious? Is this taking up time and space and money in my life, whereas I could be doing something that I really enjoy? Is it making a difference? And I think a lot of the time, people will say, not really. So that is my question to you. Think about that in your life. And I'd love to hear also about your experience. Have you tried wellness trends? What worked for you? What didn't work for you? What made you feel worse? I would love to hear it. And I'll see you in the next video.